The internet last week has been buzzing with controversies, from our honorable senators to an alleged minor getting married, in the north. Well, this is Randoms, and I am Sharon Ajay. And of course, with me is Ogochukwu Mabana. I love the way I does it. Mabana. Oh my goodness, Ogochukwu, how have you been?
I'm fine.
You know, the program cannot continue if I don't ask how you've been. So, tell me, how have you been over the, over the weekends?
The weekend was not really the usual kind of weekend for me because I felt a bit under the weather.
Oh.
So it was not my usual weekend, but I'm here now and I'm good. Thank you for asking.
That's great. Were you able to surf the internet? Did something catch your attention?
A lot.
You laughed a lot, right?
A lot, and that's why we're here, you guys. A lot, a lot.
Of course. All right, we'll be going on a short break. And of course, when we return, we have interesting gist to fill you on in. So, do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is Randoms. Well, tensions erupted in the Senate on Thursday after Senator Natasha AKPOTI UDUAGHAN clashed with the leadership over a seating arrangement dispute. The issue began when AKPOTI UDUAGHAN's seat was reassigned following a reshuffle prompted by opposition members moving to the majority wing. However, she refused to relocate. Well, Chief Whip Senator Tahi Monguno cited Senate rules to justify the change, explaining that the seat adjustments were within the Senate President's authority. He also warned that non-compliance could lead to penalty, including exclusion from Senate debates. Senate President GODSWILL upheld Monguno's order and denied Senator AKPOTI UDUAGHAN. GODSWILL upheld Monguno's order and denied Senator AKPOTI the floor when she attempted to speak from her old seat. In protest, the Kogi lawmaker raised a voice accusing the leadership of silencing her. Well, the standoff intensified when the Senate President directed the Sergeant-at-Arms to remove her. However, interventions from fellow lawmakers restored calm, although AKPOTI remained firm in her refusal to move. This is really interesting. Well, it was making a huge round on social media. The details of the video wasn't brought, immediately before the video was posted, but later on we got to understand that it was the movement from a former seat to a new seat that caused the debate and the clash between her and the Senate President GODSWILL AKPABIO. Well, let's see a video in regards to that. Well, we've seen that video. I'm very agitated she was while the back and forth was going between her and the Senate President GODSWILL AKPABIO. And you just, from the viewer's point, you're just trying to understand, is it because they say, okay, move from this seat to that seat? Is that why you are that agitated? And of course, from what she was saying, you could hear, you can't silence me, you can't, and you could just tell that it is not just move from this seat to that seat. They've been a backloads of, clash and issues between the both of them. Ogochukwu, what do you have to say about that?
To me, I feel Senator Natasha's reaction to what Senator GODSWILL AKPABIO said, which the Senate President said, was, I think the reaction came from issues that have actually been loading all this while. So it's more like someone who has been keeping quiet for so many things, and this time around she just can't keep quiet anymore, and she has to let the cat out of the bag. So it is not just moved to one end of the Senate hall or building. So according to her, she said, okay, there was a video online where ordinary President Ahmed Musa of the Brekete family actually interviewed her via phone call. And she said it is not even the moving that is the problem. The problem for her is that she's been moved to a side where she will not be seen or heard. Now, in the Senate building, she explained it. She said, in the chambers, you see that there are some senators that are moved to the back, like really, really to the back, where the cameras don't even get to catch them, where even when you raise your hands to drop a popular opinion, they don't even see you to say, okay, let's hear from you. You understand? And she said that is where they're moving her to. She said at first, actually, her seat was actually at the back, but this particular place they're asking her to go to is like the extreme end, close to the door, as in when they open the door, you're the first person to leave. That is how it is, like at the extreme end. And she said she wasn't comfortable with that. And this is someone whose voice is a very strong voice, not just for her constituency, but for Nigerians and even Nigerian women at large. So she felt like, no, why take me to that end? I'm supposed to be heard. I'm supposed to be here. If you don't want to put me in my seat, then bring me forward. Okay. And, you know, something like this actually happened just before this new regime of Senator AKPABIO being the Senate President. I could remember one time the Senate President, I'm still trying to remember his name, but I think when I get it during, maybe in the conversation, I'll tell you his name. The past Senate President, when he said, Senator AKPABIO, then Senator AKPABIO was still a senator, not the Senate President and not a governor right now. He said, please move to the other side. He said, move your seat, move from your seat and go somewhere else, still in that chamber. So it's almost like the same settings this time around. But, you know, the Senate President that time actually explained why he should move. He said, I'm not asking, even when he revolted, like he was agitating and he said, no, I'm not going to move. This was Senator AKPABIO then. He said, I'm not going to move. You're asking me to move my seat. I'm not moving from my seat. This is my seat. My name is there. You know, there's something about it. There's one peculiarity about it. And we can actually tell, even when you come to the office, you don't want to hear someone is sitting your... Exactly. Yes, it's more like, that seat is like your comfort zone. It is your safe space for you. You already used to it, and when they say move, you're not comfortable going to a new seat. You understand? So even when it happened to him that time, he said no, he can't move. He was agitating. They had to bring calm. And then the Senate President explained to him and said, the reason why I'm asking you to move is because the mic there is not working. I can't even hear you. So there was actually a reason why we are asking you to move. But in the case of Senator Natasha, there's actually no reason. If you're asking a senator to leave from a designated seat to another seat that is not hers, then there should be a reason. And even before you start moving seats, actually, the law recommends that you tell her before then, not when there's actually a sitting. Not when we are here right now deliberating on an issue. You're supposed to inform me before this deliberation, before this particular sitting. So it's more like you're actually insulting the senator. Because there are cameras that people covering this occasion, this particular sitting, and now you are telling me to move my seat. I understand that Senator Natasha's reaction is coming from a whole load of issues from, I don't know, maybe from between her and the Senate President or maybe some of her colleagues. But also I still feel like the way she actually responded wasn't, totally wrong. Yes, was totally wrong, because you represent a whole constituency and not just the constituency. You represent Nigerian women, and also your husband is from the south. You are also somehow representing southern women. So I think for someone with a high profile, I understand that when you flog a child, you don't tell the child when to cry and when not to cry. Immediately the child is hurt, he wails or she wails. So at this point, being that reputable person, I feel like she should have actually being able to treat that situation in a way that it will not escalate to this point. Perhaps maybe air it in a more polite way, or maybe after the sitting, actually air it properly. But then, like I said, you can't tell a child how to cry after flogging that child.
Of course, Ogochukwu, you said most part of it. I love how you ran through the fact that AKPABIO has done that before.
Yes, of course.
And how Senator Natasha should have handled I love how you balance both of them. Well, we have lots of comments on social media.
Of course.
We have lots. So our comments is literally the least compared to what we have on social media. Ogochukwu, kindly read us some comments from Twitter.
So today, social media is buzzing with comments concerning this particular issue on ground. So this is our new parliament. So we are going to be, this is like our own social media Senate house. So let's hear this comment. The first comment is coming from Maybex. And Maybex says, "Dear AKPABIO, Natasha AKPOTI is one of the few senators who has always prioritized public service over personal gains, delivering the true dividends of democracy to her constituents. Her position in the National Assembly is of great value to Nigeria. Any action against Natasha is against many of us." So this is like a short, is it warning or an open letter to, because he actually, I think he said, "Dear AKPABIO," so it's an open letter to AKPABIO. So Honorable Senator AKPABIO, please take notes. All right, the next one is coming from the Service Culture Evangelist, and he says, "You have always been impressive." Okay, dear Natasha AKPOTI, "you have always been impressive to standing against tyranny and bullying. I'm so proud of you for standing up for your voice and your constituents' right." Oh, this is cool. Okay, the next one is coming from Weyemi B. Lube. And Weyemi says, "All Natasha does is speak for her people, come for Senate meetings and question bills and documents in a civil manner, but somehow AKPABIO won't let her be." Oh, really? But we've not really, I know they've been actually back and forth between Senator AKPABIO and Senator Natasha, but at a point, there was a point where they seemed to be like best of friends, even in the Senate House. So
a video
I don't even know where this whole thing started from.
Both of them, took pictures abroad. So it's not as if they've been, of course, enemies.
Oh, okay.
I guess they are
as colleagues,
and all of that. But of course, there are lots of things we do not know about them. That's why we say there's a lot of things we do not know, and that is where she sprung up from, the clash of "I don't want to change my seat" and all of that.
So the next comment is coming from Atlantis BEM Global Logistics, and he or she says, "As Nigerians, we are too biased a lot of times that we will support illegality just because it validates our sentiments. This woman, AKPOTI Natasha, clearly violated the rule of the House of which she is a member. She clearly disobeyed the sitting arrangement which led to AKPABIO." Mr. Atlantis BEM Global Logistics, either you're a Mr. or a Mrs. You said she clearly violated the sitting rule. By the way, she was actually sitting on her seat. That was the designated seat for Senator Natasha AKPOTI UDUAGHAN. So she wasn't violating anything. So it is when they say stand up from your seat and go to another seat that you now start asking questions. Why am I being moved to another seat? So it is actually her right to ask. But I think the only problem which I had was the way she expressed it. You understand? There are tones to things. You can say the same thing but different tone. So your tone is actually what is going to sell you off. Okay, so I hope I correct that for you, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss Atlantis. So the last comment for today is coming from Optician M. And Optician M says, "I salute the courage of Senator Natasha AKPOTI, a strong woman who is determined to speak for her constituents. She is not deterred with the constant attack by AKPABIO, who has sworn to continue denigrating her, a woman, to shut her from speaking on behalf of co-guides." Well, I don't think anybody is shutting anyone from speaking on behalf of their constituency. But as it is right now, this is the matter on ground. And what we know is what we see is what we are saying, which is when she was being delegated to sit somewhere else. And she said, No, sir, you must give me the reason why I'm sitting somewhere else. This is my seat and I must remain here, or else there'll be problem because you want to silence me. I don't want you to silence me. Nobody's silencing anybody here. You have the right to speak for yourself. It's just the way they say there's rights to rights, the freedom of speech, but there's no freedom after speech. So after speech, you really cannot guarantee your freedom, and that's in this part of the country. So everyone needs to be careful how you air, even when you are angry. I think this will, I have to advise people right now, even in your most angered state, sometimes when you are quiet, it doesn't mean you're a fool or doesn't mean you're dumb. Sometimes also when you try to settle that issue calmly, it doesn't also mean that you're a fool. And it's always pays when you try to settle issue calmly. When you are being polite, you are airing your mind. This time around, you are airing your mind, but you are airing it politely. Exactly. There's what they call polite insult. You never can tell when you are insulting the person. In fact, the person doesn't know when, are you insulting me, or are you trying to even, you don't even get to know, but you know you are dropping your point and you are dropping it politely. I think we should all learn that, especially in the workspace. Most times we are all mannered and cultured people, so you don't just go ahead and you want to be heard or seen at every time. No, there's a time to say it and there's a time to be quiet, please.
All right, thank you so much, Ogochukwu. That's the amount of comments we will be able to take at this instance. Well, we're going on a short break now, and of course, when we return, we have one more trending story to discuss with you all. So do stay with us. All right, welcome back. If you are just tuning in again, this is Randoms, and we just finished discussing about Senator Natasha AKPOTI and, of course, the Senate President GODSWILL AKPABIO, the clash, I don't want to change my seat, I want to change my seat, oh yeah, take her out, and all of that. And of course, Ogochukwu read some comments. Of course, you know, the comment section is up. It's boiling at this point. It's boozing. We have from X, from Facebook, from Instagram. They are not having it. We have some on the side of GODSWILL AKPABIO. We have some on the side of Natasha. So what side are you on? But of course, we are moving on. A wedding picture surfaced on social media. It was alleged that the groom in question married an underage girl, which lots of Nigerians has frowned on. You know, in a report, the bride is said to be over 30 years, done with her first degree, her youth service, and she is currently studying to get a master's degree from the Lagos State University, LASU. The bride herself has come out to debunk the news of her being underage. Well, let's take a look at that clip.
This is a clarity video about my pictures, my wedding pictures, that she's underage, she's now up to 18 years. According to Nigeria Constitution, 18 years is an adult, and I'm not 18 years, I'm not 20 years, I'm not 25 years, I'm a graduate. My stature shouldn't be a barrier to achieve my goals or dreams, so I'm not underage, and I'm not used for collateral or as loan, because some people commented like that.
Well, we've seen the video, and from her voice, you can tell that this is not an underage girl. There is no 12 years old lady that would sound that way. This is a full-blown adult, a mature woman. And of course, from what we've gotten now, she's not 20, she's not 25. She might be even above 30 or, 30. When I came across that picture, I was like, oh my God, she actually looked underage, She really looked underage. Ogochukwu, I don't know if you came across that picture also. And I was like,
she's an auntie.
Yeah, she's an auntie, but in a small...
No, you say auntie. I said auntie.
Oh, auntie.
This is the time that you now say, good morning, Ma. Good morning.
Oh. Well, she literally looks like a 12-year-old if I was going to judge, if you ask me for my opinion, or how do I think she is. She looks like a 12-year-old. And I think that I really do not know why the internet was buzzing concerning a marriage, because we know that in that part of the north, it's normal. but I really don't know what really triggered them. Or maybe they just felt, oh, she's a bit younger than the normal young girls that would usually get married or something. And well, it's just turned out that she's over 30, of course, 30 years old.
You know, I will start with, you know, when people say what you don't know is actually bigger than you. So that's the case of what you don't know is actually bigger than you. And I think we should also try to verify news, our sources and stories before we carry them and even go ahead to spread fake news on the internet, because a lot of persons sleep and wake on the internet, and everything they hear there is true. Nobody goes ahead to say, let me even do my own background findings to know if this story is true or if it's false. And then you see bloggers carrying it. Now, right now, I'm sure so many bloggers would have dropped that debunked that particular video or message that they carried earlier on, because this lady already came out to say, I am not underage. I am a graduate. I'm done with my NYSC, and right now I'm going for my master's degree. Now, this is where stature comes in. Small body, they say in the Pigeon Palace, according to Mr. He said, small body no be seen. Like, everyone has different stature. You see some persons looking big, older than their age.
Exactly.
And, you know, you could tell from children these days. You see so many children, when you ask, you hear, I'm 12. And they're already looking 20. Okay, so recently, just before now, Mona Lisa Chinda, the actress, posted her daughter who just clocked, I think, 16 or 17 thereabout. And so many persons, she actually celebrated her on her birthday, wishing her happy birthday. So many persons were of the opinion that your daughter is looking 24, she's looking 30, how is she this big, what is wrong? A lot of persons bashed her, and she came out to say, please do not talk to my daughter like that. She is 17 and that remains like that. So some children look older than their age, while some of us will look smaller than their age. Like, I, for one, I'm always told, you can tell, you always tell me that oh God, how do you do this? I think it's gene too. Genetics also contribute to this stature. So sometimes when you even eat heaven and earth, you just cannot go beyond that weight or that size. So sometimes we should try to verify our stories, and internet in-laws or social media in-laws, please verify your stories first before bashing this lady. You can imagine she's even older than some persons who are telling her, you are too young, you are too old. And again, we know that there are some cultures and tradition that allows you to be married at a very young age. So you cannot now say, no, we are going, although I know some persons are actually, some NGOs are against that culture, some of that tradition, saying these people are too young and shouldn't go into it, we understand. But then this is where verification of stories comes in, and also this is where we don't dispute the fact that everybody with their body type.
Exactly.
That's it.
But it's a good thing to see that people actually are interested in knowing if this lady is actually underage or not. It shows that maybe we have some reasonable and good Nigerians still, you know.
Is that my born Nigerians? When the woman comes out to say, please, I need so and so amount, just a few persons will help.
Exactly.
But this, you see one thing about Nigerians is, you see this small data. I think that's the reason why they even increased the tariff in data and all of that. Because you see this small 2 MB that we get immediately we enter the internet, we are looking for who to bash and who to release our anger on. We are not even trying to verify. Well, you see people very fast, they are what do they call it again, keypad heroes. Like, they are so fast, they can kill, they can make you alive, they can do a lot of things just by lying on the bed and pressing their keypad. So sometimes they're not even there to help. That's the thing. So please use your 2 MB wisely. MB don't cost, so use it wisely. If you are going to comment, please make sure you verify that story first before you drop your comments. Don't just start hitting your keyboard just because you want to hit your keyboard. And you can imagine, if only they actually verify the story, they will find out that this lady, because her graduation video was actually there on Facebook, they will find out that this lady graduated from school, you know, so she's actually not a minor, you understand?
Exactly.
So please, let's use our 2MB wisely, verify your stories so that you don't spread fake news on the internet, and also know that people differ. These are genetics and you cannot do anything about it. Anyways, this is all the time we have today. We do not have a lot of time on our own side. If not, we would have brought you more stories. So we'll be closing the curtains here. If you are just joining us, do not worry. You can actually watch on YouTube, Global TV NG, watch randoms, watch this episode and other episode. And we need your feedbacks. Please, your comments are very, very vital to us. We want to hear what you think about each episode, each stories that we drop on the internet. Also, you can watch your up-to-date news and other programs on Global TV NG. We are also on DSTV channel 365 and also on free-to-air on Night Concert. You can also join us on Star Time channel 276. And guess what? We have our own app. You can go download the app on iOS and on your Play Store. Or if you have an Android phone, it is Play Store. And if you have an Apple phone, it is your App Store. So download Global TV Nigeria and watch your favorite episodes of randoms and, you know, up-to-date news and other programs, interesting programs on that app. Anywhere you are in the world, you can actually watch these programs, whether you're on the road, on traffic, in the market, anywhere. Just make sure you have that app. So from I and Sharon today, hope you enjoyed our episode today. I know you do. So from I and Sharon today, we are saying bye-bye.